Okay, so we'll just do this. Let's see, So here I don't know who is answering what. Multiple answers are correct, okay? But I encourage you to participate. So we are increasingly going in this direction. So, okay, let's ask few questions. So 30 seconds, okay? You have 30 seconds to answer. More than one answer is correct. Okay. So only 67% voted. I'm expecting 90% to vote. Okay. I'm expecting 90%. Okay, 5 more seconds. I'll close this. One person did not vote. Okay, that's okay. I'm closing the poll and sharing it. Okay, so the best answer is the first answer, software development lifecycle or system development lifecycle. Okay, so deployment lifecycle or design life, definitely not design lifecycle. The last answer is wrong. Last but one answer is also wrong. It's not used. Best answer is software development lifecycle, and system development lifecycle is also acceptable answer. Okay, the SDLC stands for the software development lifecycle. Right. Next question. Thirty seconds more. Okay, I'm closing the poll now. So the first two are correct, right? Serial means one step at a time, So why we saw that, right? Waterfall is serial. I talked about it. Serial means one step at a time. Okay. So the fourth one is also right. Development will start after design, requirements and design are done. Third and the fifth are wrong. Okay, more questions soon. So now we are going to see the see BA's role in testing phase, and right, tomorrow BAs are going to learn testing. BAs are going to learn testing. So now this is also slightly an advanced concept, right? Being the first class, I'm not going to be very technical. Instead, we go back to how we started. Okay, how we started in order to explain BA's role in testing and QA BA how they work together. So so how we started, software equal to product. Toy is also a product. So I'm going to use toy as an example to explain this concept of BA playing a role in the testing. Okay. So as part of that, okay, here is the problem. Right, guys, take a minute to read it. I'll explain it and throw the first question. Okay. So I'm going to, use the toy as an example to explain the role of a BA in testing. Okay. Instead of a toy, I can also use a building. So you are going to answer the question. So you can also use building. You can imagine yourself, you are in California constructing a $1 million home in Atlanta or anywhere. So Nandu is the owner of a toy company. Simple idea is to come up with a toy. Investor, my idea. So all the BA students, you are product analysts. I'm not even going to call you a BA. Product analyst. No more IT. Forget IT. So the toy went through feasibility, performance, design, development. It is in testing phase now. Testing phase now. Okay. So the question is, as a product analyst, you worked in the requirement phase. As a product analyst, will you be curious to test the product? Okay, you test the toy. If you say yes, or if you say yes or no, you need to figure out, and then as a product analyst, will you be curious or not? So that is the question. Okay, take a minute, and here is the question. Okay. So answer the poll questions. Okay, make sure you answer the poll questions. Hope I launched it. Did I launch it? Yeah, it is launched. So I also gave you a clue. Use building as an example. That you are the owner of the building. There is a product analyst like an architect builder. Should the architect builder be curious or not? Should the architect builder test the product when the construction is going on? So I want more percentage, only, yeah, one more person you can answer. So, okay, one more person is thinking, what will I do if I am wrong? Nothing. Nobody is going to know you are right or wrong, right? So just to take a chance and answer. You will learn by making mistakes. Okay. All right. So 1 minute and 30 seconds over. I'm going to close the poll and discuss the answer. Right. So product goes through and product is in testing. So what is that? So let's take that California example. So you are here in California. Right? So you are investing $1 million to build a home in Atlanta. So I'm the architect builder. We went through requirements, design. Let's say construction is going on. A time for testing, right? So the feasibility was completed. So you and I worked on the requirements. We went through this 4-step process. Initially, you wanted some kind of home. We did the 4-step process: understand, talk, gather, document. The documentation, you approved it. Then our design and development and test team will take over. Development and QA will take over. So when the development is going on, some kind of testing is also likely to happen in this kind of product creation. But the most important question is, what do you want me to do? If I'm an architect builder who did this 4-5 step process, what should I do? Should I take a vacation? Should I take a vacation and go, or go to the construction site and see how it is coming along? So should I check or not? Should I call you? Should I call you and say, yeah, it is construction is coming along. Okay, your what is that? You wanted certain things in the kitchen. It's all being done. Right? Check it, and also send pictures. So these days we have WhatsApp and all that, right? Send pictures. So take a picture of your living room. See, this is how it is. Do you like it or not? Right? So the answer to this question is, natural. These are all natural. What is your expectation? So I should be testing, number one. Not only that, I have to keep you informed, right? I need to take pictures, call you, keep, you have invested $1 million. I need to keep you on the progress. Right? And obviously, I wrote the requirements, and I'm also curious to see how the product is coming along. One thing is just saying, the product should jump, a product should do this, do that. But when that is happening, right? At least partially happening, I want to see it, to see how my requirements are coming along, right? See, the role of a BA, in another way, if you look at it, the role of a BA, so if you take a human being, so the role of a BA is to just define, how many hands are there, how many legs are there, related requirements, how many fingers, what all the hands should happen, what the hand should do. But the life to the product is given by design and development team. The life force, prana, right? The breathing. All that, that is the design and development team are the ones who give life to the product. Obviously, when the life is being given, so you as a requirement person, curious to see how the working product is. Right? You want to see the working product and touch it, feel it. It's a very natural thing to happen. So remember that. So let's go to the next question. Okay, the product is in the same California home scenario you can take, toy scenario you can take. Product is under tight deadline. 3 testers are testing. 1 tester left. 1 more week to finish testing. Who is a better replacement for the tester? If I have to describe that scenario, let's say there are 3 testers. Okay. 3 developers. 3 designers. 3. Okay. Similarly, 3 requirement for people. 1 more week left. No time to hire. 1 tester will quit. Hiring, background checks, all that going to take time. We don't. So who is the better? There is also, imagine this owner is also there. I forgot. Who is the better replacement for the tester? Is it someone from the development team or testing or the requirement team? So if you are building $1 million home, if you are investing $1 million to, right, who would you prefer? Poll is launched. %40 voted. So I encourage you to vote. Okay. I'll close the poll because the required number of people also voted. You can see the result now, right? 71 were product analyst. That is one of the right answer. 8 is a product analyst because he or she works on the requirement, knows what client wants. Developer or design person, not the right answer. There is no time to hire. First one, all of you got it right. No time to hire. I, indirectly quoted that also. A developer or design person ideally should not test. Why? Why, the person should not test? So I want you to, whoever answered, so I want you to make this call. The same $1 million home example, right? So you are trying to build a $1 million home, the common design development. Some testing is also going on. Kitchen is done. Do you want the person, right, who constructed the kitchen to come and test the kitchen? How many of you would want that? The person who constructed the kitchen, you want that person to come and test. How many of you would want that? Okay. How many of you would want that? So Ratna, would you want that? Would you want that to happen? Or probably anyone, whoever answered, tell me. Right? So anybody wants to answer? Right? So to cut it short, this conversation, so it is not a great idea. It is not the best in the interest of you, owner, to have a construction guy come and test, because there is conflict of interest. Separation of duties should be there. Meaning, the guy who constructed the kitchen, if you ask to test, he or she will say, even if they find a mistake, they may not report it, they may hide it, or just to patch it up. So many things can happen. Okay. So among the three groups, right, the design, development, and requirements, reasonably independent person would be someone from the requirement team, product analyst, or in IT term, it's going to be a business analyst. A business analyst can be pulled into testing, right? When I was a business analyst, many times I was also pulled into it. And we do a class on this topic. And tomorrow, starting from tomorrow or whenever you do this BA class, testing is a must. Because it is a very natural thing. It is not, that's why I'm saying these concepts are not IT concepts. It's a very natural thing that can happen in any product life cycle. That the guy who wrote the requirement can be pulled into testing. He or she knows what the customer wants. So BA also participates in, so believe it or not, I will show you one more. Just yesterday I did this class for a January batch. I can show it to you. We're almost done, 5 minutes. After requirements phase, is the BA's job done? No. This is what I keep repeating. What happens after weeks or months have been spent in gathering? Just 4-step process, understanding customer requirements. Right? I didn't talk about analysis and all that. Documents are finished, reviews are completed, approvals. Some of these steps I already talked about it. The BA's job done? No. So this is the other thing I talked about. BA's role after requirement can vary from, even during requirement, not only after, even during requirements can vary from company to company, project to project. Okay. But beyond that, BA does managing requirement changes, participating in design and test reviews, traceability. BA does test reviews. How will you, do test reviews if you don't know testing? BA participation in test process. BA does QA testing. BA does, it's called user acceptance testing. Many companies, BA actually performs UAT. If anybody tells you, you don't have to know testing, you don't have to know SQL, don't believe them. That you have to, these days, you have to know a lot more than just the BA role. So you have to know a lot more than BA role. So remember that. Okay. So that is the last part. Right. I do one more exercise like this, but I will stop here. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't do. But basically, that is right. So to summarize, BA mainly participates in the requirement phase along with the client. works with the client to develop requirements. So let's say requirement related to payment. So BA will go through the 4-step process, 5-step process, right? Understand customer's headache, understand customer problems. In this case, let's say payment related. So talk to the customer, gather requirements, and document. There is analysis step also, will not worry at this point of time. So the documentation of the requirements also have to be, customer will have to approve it. Client will have to approve it. The document is reviewed and approved. Once it's approved, design takes place, programming takes place. So they create a product. What is the role of a QA? Test. Test against what? Documented requirements. Let's say there are 3 requirements, right? I talked about it in the demo class too. First one, MasterCard is valid. MasterCard payment is valid. Second requirement says that Visa card payment is valid. Third one says that Amex payment is not valid. Accordingly, design and development would have happened. So when QA is testing, what they need to do? So they need to load the software. They need to load, let's say, a website. Tester would use a MasterCard. Make sure it is working. They will use a Visa card. Make sure it is working. They will use an Amex. Make sure it is not working. So how do you know that what is working, what is not working? That is what requirement says. So test process is driven by requirements. Understand that. So requirement should say what should work and what should not work. Accordingly, test process will be driven. So in tomorrow's class, or whenever you decide to learn manual testing and all that, so your whole process will be driven by requirements. So students who already joined, so tomorrow's class, that's how it will happen. So they will have a bunch of requirements. So one by one, you learn how to test, how to document, how to record results, all that, and that is will be done that way. Okay. All right. So that brings an end to this class. Any questions? Okay. So so tomorrow's class, if you are interested in joining, do not hesitate to message me or call me after 8 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. We'll also share the schedule with you, and then you can continue. Okay. Thank you and good night.